One of my PCs just wants to bang everything. Help! I am running my first ever Dungeons & Dragons campaign as a DM, and one of my players has ruined entire sessions by attempting to bang every enemy they come into contact with. This includes trying to seduce NPCs and bosses, while also trying to make love with enemies after killing them. They also have derailed countless RP encounters by just yelling about what they want to do. Please help! We're sending the DM police right now. Come on, Bard. I let you lay the dragon once and now you keep banging everything. Sir, are you alright? What's going on? He's trying to bang the phone! Every hole's a go! Oh, come on, man! My name is Jacob Crow, and welcome to the Crow's Perch. From atop my perch, we delve into the latest RPG horror stories. Today's story is going to be part 2 of a series of stories, one of which has already been read by Bearbard, and the others being read by Mr. Kapao of Fantastic Tales of Adventure. Mr. Kapao is reading part 1, and Bearbard is reading part 3, so be sure to check them out. This story is about a GM who simps over a player. Y'all know what a simp is, right? Known academically as Virginius non touch Gracius, as known from its former Latin origins. When the Roman philosopher Virginius wrote the first request for feet pics in exchange for a tier 3 sub on Lady Stacinia's hot tub stream, the word used to define such a creature was changed over the years. Now known as the simp in the common parlance, is one who dedicates his or her life to the pursuit of usually a woman who will never give them their affections. Though despite this, the simp continues its self-flagellation, defending her on Twitter even after she makes bad takes, and defends genocide, as well as posting cringe at 3 in the morning. The simp walks a lonely, self-imposed road, and will often allow other relationships to deteriorate, including those of their friends, family, or even lovers, all for the perceived chance for their chosen target's affection. Jokes aside, most simping is completely harmless, and there's no shame in being down bad, as long as you don't do it on main. It's like anything else. Just don't be weird. So without further ado, let's pull out all the money left from our 401k and donate it to that cute streamer with 10 viewers. Because I know that she's not talking to you now, but maybe if you give her $10,000, she'll like you then. I mean, she has to, right? Look, just find yourself a nice femboy, okay? And let's gather up a murder and dive right into this story. Persons of interest. BSGM, backstabbing GM. Fred, newbie player. Wilma's BF. Wilma, newbie player. Fred's girlfriend and BSGM's love interest. Barney, veteran player with BSGM. Me, veteran player with BSGM. Little bit of context here. This all happened way back, like around 10 years ago, while playing The Dark Eye, DSA 4. We were all friends playing TTRPGs together for well around another 10 years continuously. Fred and Wilma were the only newcomers. We are all Germans. The original conversations happened in German. I'm citing from memory while also translating. I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm trying my best here. Part 1. The Clumsy Healer. Right at the beginning of the campaign, Wilma tries to cure my sick character. However, she needs ingredients for the cure. According to Wilma, her character was supposed to be really good at this. BSGM to Wilma. Roll for foraging to see if you get the right ingredients. Wilma rolls decently. Happy little healer noises. She checks her sheet, but she has trouble with the math. Barney checks her sheet and stares in disbelief. Barney. Oh my god, my wizard is a better forager than you. Why did you dump all the important stats? Wilma, apologetic. I did? I thought my character would be good at this. Barney. Yeah, looks like you failed the check. It's not even close. Wilma. I'm so sorry. Me, trying to downplay it. Don't worry. I'll manage for now. Maybe we sort this out after the session? BSGM. No, this is actually a success. Confused looks to the BSGM from the whole table. BSGM. The character was intended to be a capable healer. I'm declaring this role a success. I admit BSGM had a point. We all wanted Wilma to succeed. Situations like this kept popping up though, where he just declared success on a whim. I remember this one best because my character nearly died. For most at the table, this felt uneasy. There had to be a better solution than this. Part 2. Who needs dice anyway? After some time, we suggested a redo of the character. Wilma shouldn't be punished for newbie mistakes at the very complicated charge-in that DSA-4 has. Oh boy, did that trigger the BSGM. BSGM.
I'm not punishing Wilma. I'm doing everything to help her. You're the ones that keep pointing out her rolls fail and her spells don't work.
The complete table stares in confusion. What? BSGM.
You should mind your own business and let her succeed regardless of the roll.
Major confusion at the table. Yeah, major confusion here too, pal. The point of rolling is because you don't know whether or not there's going to be a success or a failure. Granted, I don't like binary rolls myself. In my opinion, there should be degrees to that kind of thing. But if you're rolling, that's because there's a consequence if you do not roll well. Otherwise, why the hell are you rolling? There's a reason why diceless games exist. Sounds like BSGM needs to pick one up so he knows why they work. Anyway, back to the story. Part 3. Don't listen to anybody. Listen only to me. Wilma, apologetic. Sorry guys, I suck at this. Me, trying to console her. In DSA 4, generating characters is incredibly difficult. Even veterans use tools, and I get interrupted. BSGM to Wilma.
Your character's great, and you didn't make any mistakes.
BSGM to me.
You just don't like her playstyle, and want to push your playstyle ideas onto her.
Me, still to Wilma. Are you happy with your character, as it is? BSGM to Wilma.
A redo is completely unnecessary. Don't let anyone tell you how to play. We can meet up outside the game and discuss any issues you have and easily fix anything. Your character isn't the problem here. You did nothing wrong.
Wilma gets visibly uncomfortable. She didn't say anything. I guess she didn't want this much attention, much less a heated discussion like this. Worse even, it started to feel like the BSGM was fighting over her instead of talking with her. I didn't know what to do. This was so stupid. I decided to back down. Part 4. BS Artifact. A couple of friends. The BSGM and me met at the cinema. Our newbie couple was not present. The BSGM finally came forth with his idea to help Wilma. BSGM to me.
I plan to give Wilma a magical artifact to enhance her abilities and bring her up to the power level of the rest of the group.
BSGM presents his thoughts on the thing. In short, it was a homebrewed staff that made every enemy blind and crippled without any way to resist and without any cost, limits, or drawbacks. Me. It doesn't help with her chosen role as a healer and is grossly overpowered. Dude, I don't know if this is the right approach. Just let her redo the character. BSGM.
You don't have to like it. I'll give it to her anyway. She needs to be ready for the hard battles I will throw at you.
Me. Fine. Have it your way. At least consider a redo too before you present this at the table. The other players might get envious. You're not especially generous with loot. The tension is running high at the moment. BSGM.
They need to deal with it. It's the group's fault she's suffering in the game in the first place. Her character is fine. It's you and the other players that make things hard for her because your characters are overpowered.
Me. You're the only one at the table believing this. BSGM sometimes made a point about how hard battles will become at his table, while also calling us power gamers. It felt strange and contradictory, but we were used to ignoring it. Part 5. Conclusion. At least BSGM gave in at the end. He scrapped the idea about her staff and let her redo her character instead. BSGM confronted us with the final sheet. BSGM.
We have met during the week and decided to redo Wilma's character.
Wilma. Happy little healer noises. The table. Thank God. BSGM.
Ultimately, we found a good compromise to keep the original intention of her character alive, while also making it more powerful to fit the group.
Barney. Snarky. You mean less useless? BSGM.
I am disappointed with your lack of support. You need to stop crapping all over Wilma's work and start accommodating her playstyle and her ideas. You need to start treating her with respect from now on. I will have no further discussion on the matter.
No one spoke up. It seemed useless at this point. I know Barney can get snarky, but he almost always has a point. Continuously declaring success on one character is not a playstyle. Constantly failing at easy tasks you're expected to be good at is hardly enjoyable. Being entirely dependent to the BSGM's whims this way is stupid. Being unhappy about your character is not a playstyle. The good boy. Fred and Wilma have a dog. A quite young dog at the time. I love dogs. Dogs love me. And he's a good boy. They asked if he could bring the pupper to the game, so he isn't alone for so long. The reaction was, mixed. In particular, Barney has trouble with dogs. We don't know why, just that he avoids them. He allowed it anyway, insisting they keep the dog an arm's length away. Sometimes during the session, he sat on someone's lap, or someone played with him. Aw, I played with him. However, this sometimes took the attention away from the table. I mean, how could anyone resist a pupper? Barney didn't like that. This wasn't working out as we promised. BSGM.
Someone complained about how we handle the dog.
Me. I know. Sorry, BSGM.
We agreed to have the dog around, and we will stick to this agreement. You can't just change your mind after a couple of sessions.
Me. Confused. Wait. What? BSGM.
It's completely unfair towards Wilma and Fred. If they can't bring the dog, they will have trouble attending. They want to enjoy this campaign as much as you. If I will be forced to choose between players, I'd rather lose one player than two.
Me, to Barney. I promise we'll be more careful. Barney stayed, as did the dog. Gladly, over time, the dog also befriended Barney. We caught them cuddling at a party. Dogs can be awesome. That they can be. The engagement. Fred and Wilma announced their engagement. Congratulations all around, especially from BSGM. With that day, however, BSGM started favoritizing Fred in the most cringe ways. Before Fred and Wilma arrived, BSGM.
Fred has gotten a new artifact to play with, but I haven't decided on the details yet.
Barney.
Where did he get that? Nobody of us has any magical items.
BSGM.
Fred crafted himself an artifact and rolled a critical success on the crafting check. I plan to reward him with some extra powerful item for that.
The table? Huh? Okay. When did that happen? BSGM.
He rolled it home and mailed me a picture of the dice.
Confused looks from the whole table. Seriously? BSGM.
I completely trust Fred on this.
Barney, sarcastic.
So, can I roll it home as well?
Much later in the session, Barney rolls a die for attacking. Before the die stops rolling, he snatches it from the table. Barney, smug.
Critical hit.
BSGM.
That was too quick. I couldn't see the result.
Barney. I guess you gotta trust me on this one. I got a picture of a critical hit at home, though. Honey, come on. We have critical hits at home. Critical hits at home.
Natural one.
I talked to BSGM privately, in an attempt to put a stop to this mess.
I don't know what you're referring to. There is no favoritism at my table.
Me. You started simping over Wilma, and now you're behaving strangely with Fred? BSGM.
Am I too punishing with Fred?
Me. No! It's the opposite. Rolling at home is something that would never fly at any table with any player. You've never said no to him recently. BSGM. Angry.
I do not favor Fred. It's the opposite if anything.
Me. Are you trying to hide your jealousy? BSGM. Boiling.
I'm not jealous of Fred. I just worry he's not a good fit for Wilma.
Me. Audible sigh. The rest of the discussion sadly went nowhere. But I guessed BSGM needed some time to reflect. In the end, Fred got his artifact anyway. Not that anyone minded. It's not Fred or the artifact that got players sour after all. Fred just tested out how far he could go. as most newbies do. Anyway, I left the group shortly after. Such is the duty of the simp, to save your girlfriend from having sex with you. Someone mentioned this in the comments and I just wanted to point this out. All Wilma wanted to do was join a game and learn how to play it. By jumping in front of her and being her shield, and sticking up for her when she got something wrong and she actually wanted to fix it, all it did was make her a bigger target for resentment. The whole girl bad at game thing is just so overplayed, and people tend to swing to that instead of just thinking that this person is just a newbie who is making newbie mistakes. So treat them like that. How do you expect someone to learn the game if you don't even let them play it? Anyway, that is today's story, and those are my thoughts. And if you would like to see the continuation of user Mr. Trickorder's stories, then be sure to check out the other 2 stories on Bear Bard's and Fantastic Tales of Adventures channels. Links for both will be in the description down below. Once again, I'd like to thank the patrons of the Crow's Perch for keeping this boat afloat. Our Burbs, R6 and Reuven Gritters, our accounts of Quills, Netscape Navigator, Haley, Zerofang, and Mexican. Our Barons of Beaks, Anja, Vincent, McYeetly, and Den of the Drake. And of course our Dukes of Feathers, Acroth, and Vanishing Thoughts. And even though this is the second upload this week, let's do a second Art of the Week. Art of the Week! This week's Art of the Week is an unfortunate abomination, thanks to user Spectrum Z. Spawned from me accidentally saying, I think the crow would look great with a pair of Air Jordans. As you can see, they do. Stunning! And as a bonus Art of the Week, here's Den of the Drake, also wearing a pair of Air Jordans. You can thank Novatonics. If you would like your art to be featured on Art of the Week, be sure to leave it in the art channel in the Crow's Perch Discord. And with all of that out of the way, I will see you next time as the crow flies.